know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG. BetOnline remains your number one source for all your college basketball betting this season. Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. You'll find the latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, and game trends at BetOnline. Updated odds for everything from live games, the conference championships, right through the Final Four and championship game. BetOnline is your college basketball headquarters this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your bonus. BetOnline.AG, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary tight end Jason Dunn. JD, how we doing? Fresh off vacation. How we feeling?
Yes, sir. Back in the bluegrass, baby. So we feeling great. We feeling great. Had a good time. Was able to go down with family. Enjoyed out there being out on the beach, the sun. But we went down to Florida, so we went down to St. Pete, just up and down the coast. We was right there in the Gulf, Clearwater. Where else we was? That was pretty much it. And so, we had a few days down there. It was good to go down there to see. One of my friends lives down in Clearwater. Had a chance to, see him for like a day before we got out of there. But man, we was up and down the place, man. My grandson went over there to, what's that? Universal Studios. We went to Universal Studios.
That's cool.
Now you talking about a money maker? Oh my gosh, money maker all around there, man. It was crazy. It was just the amount of people and the things they're giving out. Now look, I'm not a big Harry Potter guy. Okay, my head that's after me, but the amount of people that were in there buying wands at the the Harry Potter area, the experience, and what is that place? Hogwarts? I don't even know what the place is called. What's the Gryffindor? I don't know. They were trying to tell me all these different places.
So Hogwarts is the name of the school that he went to. I'm not. See, I grew up with Harry Potter. All my friends, like pretty much, we all grew up with the as each one came out, we grew up as the actors got older, we came kind of a similar age to them. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that stuff. I have 4 older brothers who were your age and stuff. So when kids were liking that stuff, my brother was like, "Nah, you don't like that. You like wrestling. You like football. You like other stuff. You don't like Harry Potter."
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't really get into Harry Potter. It wasn't until when I was in college, the girl I was talking to. She was making all these references and stuff, and she makes me take the test, what school would you be in? And because Gryffindor because they have different schools in Hogwarts, so right, Gryffindor was its own fraternity. There was Slytherin was its own fraternity, Hufflepuff's its own fraternity. There's one more I forgot, but yeah, the Gryffindor is its own group of people in the school of Hogwarts.
Dude, it was crazy. Just the the whole the scale of the place, and they say to me it was almost like a perfect replica of how it was in that whole whatever that is. I don't but they were my daughters were trying to explain to me all the, like you said, the Gryffindor, Slytherin, and who would you be in the schools, and of course they bought wands, and I was just absolutely just blown away at how big this thing was. I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's absolutely huge, man, the Harry Potter thing. Now, I tell you what, I had one of those, it's called butterbeer. I guess it's a drink, I guess, from that part. I know we talk a little bit more Harry Potter, but there was a really tasty drink, man, from butterbeer. So I don't know what was in it, man. It was sweet, delectable. It was, when I'm talking about a punch in the tongue, that's exactly what it was. So enough about that, man. But we had a great time. We did. We had a great time. Was able to get out there. We talked about last week. We had our little our late night groove. Kind of talking a little bit. It was like the whole vibe. I was trying to keep quiet because my family was sleeping. I didn't want to wake anybody up. Getting excited. Talking about these things, but there were some exciting things that happened. Last week, and now this week we're starting to hear some other things too.
Yep.
But what about you, man? What we got going on?
Nothing much, man. I have family visiting. So my third oldest brother, he lives in England with his wife and 2 kids. They were visiting for the last 2 weeks. They just left today. So did some family stuff. There's interesting. So I want to bring this up to you. We'll see what your thoughts are on this. It's a family show, so everyone can kind of see what we got going on in our lives and stuff. But so my barber, she's out of the country. So I called on Monday, the salon. I said, hey, is Hannah there? And they're like, oh, Hannah's actually gone. She's gone for the whole month. And I'm like, she's gone for the whole month. Like, yeah, she won't be back till end of April, maybe early May. She's Vietnamese. So usually based on my experiences in the past, when they go for a while, make it worth their while. They go for a long time.
Right.
Gone for 4 weeks. And my hair's getting I've combed it, but my hair's it's getting wild and curly. So I almost was very close to, I'll do somebody else. I'll sit in someone else's chair. But I've gotten so close. I've for 4 years now, I've been going to the same woman. And so my question is, at what point do you just say, screw it, let me give somebody else to cut my hair? Because I don't want to wait another month because my hair it's only gonna get curlier and curlier for the next 3 weeks. Right. And I don't like putting product in my hair every day. I'm very anti wearing product all the time. Certain occasions, product is fine, but I don't want to wear gel or any of that stuff in my hair every day. But at what point, and question, would you go to the same place as your hair person is and sit in another chair, or do you wait, or do you go to a different place to get a quick little trim so when she comes back, it looks like it's no one else has done your hair? For me, it's I'm very optics with that stuff because I don't want to go in that place and be awkward and have somebody else do my hair, and then the next time I go back, that same person thinks she's doing my hair. But no, Hannah's my girl. I only went to you that one time. But how would you play out that situation, or has this ever happened to you? By the way,
it has, and to me, it's like this. Look, loyalty is key, right? So there's nothing wrong with it. Whoever he is doing your hair now is a stand-in. And so what you do is hey, look, Hannah is my barber. She's the one who usually does my hair, but I love the shop. Could you do my hair until Hannah comes back? And I'm sure somebody be like, yeah, sure, no problem. They wouldn't mind taking over for Hannah for that one cut until she gets back, right? It wouldn't be any big deal because she's actually keeping everything, I guess, in-house in the family in the same store.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be too much of a big deal. Now, the problem would be if the person does your hair well, and then you came back and Hannah comes back, you're like, hey, I like my haircut from such and such, right? that would be the issue. But I think, loyalty, regardless of look, Hannah, Hannah does a great job with my hair. And if the person does a good job, you thank her, you pay her, but Hannah's still your girl, right? Yeah. So I think that's the best way to handle it. It's done happen to me, a few times, and everybody understands. It's like, all right, cool. I got you for this one. No big deal.
Yeah. For me, it was I was like, do I do it? I had my whole Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David moment. And I was like, man, I don't want to be in this predicament.
Yeah. Oh no. You handled it well. So I should go in and just find someone at the barbershop who will do my hair and just let them know, hey, Hannah's my girl, but she's out of town. So yeah.
See you this time.
And they'll understand it. They'll be like, okay, cool. No problem. We got you.
Yeah. I can't let it go any longer, JD. It doesn't look that bad right now, but it's rough.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all right, man. It looks all right. It looks cool. Looks cool with me.
I appreciate you, buddy. Before we get into the show, I just want to give a shout out to our followers. You guys have been doing an amazing job, engaging with our videos online. Obviously, our listeners too, but everyone's been doing a great job, and it's our content's getting out there big time. Over the last few weeks, we've had hundreds of people subscribe to the channel. So we want to give a shout out to all the newbies who are just joining Chief Concerns for the first time. We hope you guys enjoy the content. And we're going to have stuff coming at you guys all year long because there's no off season in Chiefs Kingdom.
Man, that shoot. And just like to say welcome, welcome on board to what we do. And so the thing is, we'd like to put out, like you said, great content, talk about some really good things, detailed stuff. And, we like suggestions from people. I think, we had one of the shows that we're going to talk some real football stuff that people want to hear. Right. And so the thing is, when we have a little bit of, guests coming on and we've been kind of busy with these things, but the guests will be on fairly soon that we've been talking to some people. And obviously with the draft coming in and things like that, these next few weeks are going to be pretty wild, pretty crazy. It's going to be a nice ride, believe me. So, y'all just stay tuned. Y'all will not be disappointed. And usually Barks do a great job of coming back to the people, talking to them, responding. And I try to follow also too on YouTube and respond. I do more likes than responding. I got to get my thing to where I can respond to people because there's some things people say, and I love the loyal members that we have that come through, and I'm always grateful for those people, on YouTube and Twitter for sure. So, welcome to the family. How about that?
Yeah, welcome to Chief Concerns. We're happy to have you.
Yes, sir.
So JD kind of hinted at it. We got some good stuff for you guys this week. So some good stuff's happened for the Chiefs in the last since our last episode. So we're gonna get into it right now. So first topic tonight is our newest addition to the wide receiver room is fourth-year wide receiver Richie James out of Middle Tennessee, drafted by the 49ers in 2018, where they used him as a returner, playing him some snaps in the offense. You got a little elevated role in his second year there when Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel kind of like were out a little bit during the season. He got some more play on the offense, but James did not play in 2021. He was waived by the 49ers, and then he ended up undergoing knee surgery at the end of the season. James returned in 2022, signing a one-year deal with the Giants, where he had career highs, catching 57 balls, had 569 yards, receiving, and 4 touchdowns. And he was also their main punt return with Tony not really playing. He became their main guy at the punt return. And also you have 2 guys who played with the Giants together now, Tony and Richie James, playing with each other in the Kansas City now. So, JD, we've talked about receiver, and we're going to get into another receiver later on in the show that we'd like to talk about. But with Hardman gone, with Juju gone, with Justin Watson gone, James becomes the first guy to kind of replace a room that's been pretty vacant so far this offseason. And even with him, we still have 2 holes to fill, but there might be some other guys in that depth chart that you may think can fill those holes. But what do you make of this signing, and what do you make of the receiver room as a whole right now as we still work to kind of add pieces to that?
I tell you what. So this signing, when I seen it, I didn't really quite know who the guy was. I seen him with the Giants. The name kind of popped up. But the guy, man, look, he has a lot of wiggle to him. He can do a lot of different things with the ball in his hand. He's a lot better route runner than what I expected, to be honest with you. But if anything, and I've been saying this for the last year, 2 years, with this sign, it absolutely shows that the Chiefs has an offense that is a smaller guy offense. It is. This is a kind of gadget system that you don't have your prototypical wide receivers as your guy being the number one that you're gonna be throwing to, the deep balls and stuff like that. You have some. But they're looking for the smaller receivers that can get into windows, can get open, make guys miss in space. This guy, man, he brings everything to the table. He brings it all to the table, man. And I went back and I was just watching, some of his highlights. And so he's got a lot of ability. He's been getting better every year. And so the thing is, I think a guy like this is in his 5th year, right? This is his 5th year. But you bring it more to the table. Start to learn a little bit more about what it means to be in the NFL. And so sometimes when you have these stints in different places and different offenses, you get exposed to a little bit more. And so with his signing, and I know you said vacant, But maybe I would say maybe the word is not as experienced. Put it that way, okay? Because there was guys in the room, and we signed different guys. There's guys that are still kind of here from last year. Was on a roster. A lot of questions, obviously, with the guys that's in the room. But with him being a fifth-year guy, he's been to some teams where he's been able to show flashes of brilliance and greatness and athletic ability. But with that being said, now, what do I think about this group overall? Okay, I think this group is a very young group. I think this group is a very exciting group. I think they're a very athletic group. And I think this group has a lot of questions to them. Can this group go into the season and be productive? Absolutely. No doubt about it. I think we have enough guys in the room that have the ability with MBS, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, and now you got James coming in, right? And so when you talk about these guys, Justyn Ross might, coming on the roster, what he's able to do. So you have guys, not to mention the support cast around them. When I'm saying support cast, we're talking about the running backs, and then we have the tight ends, right? And so we can't leave them out of the whole equation as far as taking balls away from the wide receiver room. And so we know Patrick is one of those guys. He's a quarterback that loves to pepper the ball around the entire field to a bevy of guys. And so to me, these guys can absolutely go into the season and get it done, right? And so this signing right here kind of shows like they're leaning a little bit toward their way, right? With some guys that are young, guys that don't quite have that experience, but they giving confidence in saying these guys can do it. And so we know what we have on the roster. We signed John Ross is another guy that we signed, who's kind of like he's kind of a journeyman, different teams, has been around. He's got some things to prove. And so, this might be the time for him to be able to do it. The one guy, I can't even, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
No, Smith-Marsette.
Smith-Marsette. I'll tell you what, I've kind of watched some of his highlights. You look at highlights, obviously it's going to be the best plays and stuff like that. Hadn't really had the chance to actually go in and a deep dive into how this guy gets open, all these different things. But the plays that he made and what he was doing, he's got some ability. There's no doubt about it. So I think he's one of those guys that will give you 110% every chance that he gets. He's seemed like he's a guy to put his hard head on, and he's going to come to work every single day. And so you like guys like that in the room. And so you have that. You have those guys like that in the room who's here to prove things. People doubt them. But to me, I still think, okay, and this is me, right? I still believe that we still need another veteran presence, okay? What the veteran presence brings to that table, what they give you is experience. They bring, helping guys be in the right possessions, right? What you need to do as far as a receiver to get open, your entire, job, what you're supposed to do in that position, what you're supposed to give to a team. Now, obviously, you're going to get that from, Patrick's going to do a good job, especially out him throwing to these guys right now. But I always look for a veteran guy, man, a veteran voice to come in, man, and just kind of give a little bit of a leadership. So I think MVS is one of those guys. James is another guy that's going to be, has been played for a little while. But still need somebody, man, I think it's going to kind of show them a little bit more of the ropes.
Yeah, we're gonna get into there's one specific guy we've been following for pretty much all offseason. But you mentioned a couple guys and talk about the guys that we do have. Some, we signed John Ross to a futures contract when the season was over. John Ross still has the fastest 40 time in combine history, and we know we like the speed guys and we like the short statured guys as well. Do you think? And also the main one is Justyn Ross. Everyone's talking about, had the serious injury in college, but at one point was number one receiver on a Clemson team that had T. Higgins and Hunter Renfrow on that squad, and he was the lead dog on that squad. I mean, there's been some clips from him in the at that Texas camp that Mahomes is hosting, and he looks solid. I mean, he looks like he's healthy. And that's what they were hoping by sitting him out last year, that he could gain health and come back and be the guy. I mean, I know it's one thing that like a lot of Chiefs fans want this to happen. They want us to be the team to kind of, get Justyn Ross and make him like, look, we got him it was an undrafted signing for us. Yeah. Gave him a year off, and now he's going to blossom here. I know we don't want to give this type of expectations for a guy who was an undrafted player. But what do you think are the chances of Justyn Ross, having this 1 year off that, he played for a team where he could get that leeway where sit out this year, get right, and come back next year? What do you realistically, what do you think we could see Justyn Ross? What do you think we could get from Justyn Ross this year? And this is based on just routes on air right now. That's all everyone's basing these highlights on right now.
Listen, I think, the guy's talented, right? We know that. And like you said, with the team that was rife with, other talent with Higgins and Renfrow, he shined. He was the guy. He was the man. And there was a reason. And the thing is, it's all about, is he going to be healthy? That's the question with him. That's really the reality of what we're talking about this situation. He will be an absolutely wonderful surprise. If he's able to remain healthy through this season, being with Patrick Mahomes, learning and starting to develop through the offense and all those different things, man, he will be an absolute pleasant surprise. And so I think that's really the main thing that everybody's kind of looking at. That's what they're looking for. If a guy like this can stay on the field, then he without a doubt fills a lot of the holes that you had in some of the questions that you were thinking of going into the season, during the offseason. And so it's the same thing kind of with John Ross. Well, he might have one of the fastest 40 times, but I don't care how fast you are. If you ain't on the field to show it, it don't matter. You can be 4.2 on the streets. You know what I mean?
True.
So, and he's had a couple of stops. Giants and Cincinnati for one, I know for sure.
Yep.
Was there another one? Was he at the Cardinals?
I mean, I know the only places he got burned, like playing time, was Cincinnati and New York.
I knew those two. Yeah, for sure. So I don't know if he was out on third or not. But going back to it, what I was just saying about him is, look, he has speed. We know he has speed. Okay. Can he stay on the field? That's the main thing. And so we could talk about all these guys' abilities and what they can do and how fast they are and whatnot. The best ability is availability, right? We know this. We know the best ability is availability. And so if you're not available, then you can't display the 4.2. You can't show the flashes and the speed. You can't show all those things. What good is it if I have a Maserati or Ferrari in the garage that's got 2 flats on it? Right? I mean, it's sucker doesn't look good. Oh man, it looks good. You know how fast that thing? Yeah, I know how fast it goes. When you gonna get those tires fixed? Well, that's a different question, right? It might just have to remain there in the garage. But man, look, John Ross, Justyn Ross. These are 2 Ross guys, the 2 Ross brothers. I'm starting calling the Ross brothers. Okay. We're able to get something out of those guys, and hopefully it's a pleasant surprise, like I said, and what everybody's anticipating. Then, man, the Chiefs are going to be in a better position than they were after the season was over. So, I do believe if Justyn Ross stays healthy, he's going to bring a lot to the table, man. I think he's going to be an exciting guy. Especially, can you imagine a guy who hasn't played? The type of passion where he's ready to come out here and the fire he's ready to let loose. Oh, my gosh. I'm excited for him. I mean, I know that feeling. I know how that feels to actually be set out with an injury, okay, for an entire year. And then all of that pent up, like, waiting to come out and talent what you want to display. And you just let it all hang out, man. You just like, nothing can stop me. Like, I done been in the dumps Now it's time for me to show what I can do. And I tell you what, the Chiefs Kingdom, man, will welcome me with open arms. They're talking about it right now. He will come, man. Oh my gosh, I can just see the excitement right now. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully it works out, man. I hope he stays healthy all the way through, learns everything he needs to offensively, man. It just helps out the Chiefs tremendously.
Yeah, he has his story too. I mean, if he I know there's a lot of Chief fans who think he's going to become the next big thing, and I think that's unfair to him to place these expectations on him, like they're acting like he's a number one or top two round pick. It's like, no, he was an undrafted guy. He had that really awful spinal injury, and he had the foot injury that he had to get surgery on last year. But it's like, don't place these expectations on the guy. Like, if he can get on the field and give us even what Justin Watson gave us last year, or even a little bit of that, that's gold. He was an undrafted guy. Let's not forget that. But yeah, if he shows anything what he showed in Clemson, forget about it.
Well, look, and this is what a veteran presence would do. A veteran player would be able to help in his development. Like, listen, man, hey, all you need to go out there and just do your job. That's it. You don't have to think you had to come in and be save the entire team and everything will be on your shoulders. We got guys here. We got several guys here. All you need to do is add on to that. That's it. And just do your job. You do your job, and just when you go out there and you just go play this lights out, that's all we need for you to do. Don't worry about no pressure, anything like that, right? You don't beat the odds, okay? You was a free agent. They said they didn't even know if he was going to play because of, what you was going through medically. Right now, this is a blessing. Hey, take it for everything that it's worth, okay? Don't put nothing else on you that you don't need to, okay? You just go out there and just play ball. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Some people never expected him to play football again. I mean, he's already defied the odds in that respect already.
Right. And like I said, a veteran guy is going to be able to help him with that transition. He's going to be able to help him in that growth, understanding what it means to kind of be in the NFL. So these guys, I mean, MVS and those guys, they help him out. They will. They'll help him out. So hey, look, and I want to miss this. There's a lot of compelling stories just in that room in itself, right? I mean, seriously, if you think about it, with guys who went through injuries and whatnot, and then maybe thinking you were something and you're not, maybe the expectations, was high, then all of a sudden you don't feel them. Hey, man, this might give these guys a little bit of like some edge that they need. You know what I'm saying? Something on their shoulders that they can all just, band together and try to attack. So
that's a good point. That's actually a very good point. It's a very hungry, it's very it's a very prove yourself wide receiver room. Guys who have a lot to prove to a lot of doubters out there for whatever reasons. Where Tony, people thinking he's a bust. John Ross thinking he's a bust. Sky Moore coming from a MAC school. Not being a smaller stature guy. A lot of counted out type guys in one room, and I think that there's a lot to say to that.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So be good.
Yeah,
can't have a better guy at the helm though. Patrick Mahomes. Like, because people need to understand the importance of having a quarterback like that, who is somebody who is on your side all the time, who is rooting for you all the time, who doesn't get on you about if you miss a route, if you don't understand something. Like, he seemed like a guy that's going to explain it to you. He's very easygoing, and just that's the type of quarterback you need. Can you imagine these guys playing for an Aaron Rodgers? I mean, you see what happened last year with some of these guys. You know what I mean? And I couldn't. It'd be the worst situation ever for somebody like a young group like this to go in and play. MVS seen it, just so he was ready to get out of there, right?
Yeah.
So happy he was able to come down here in Kansas City, and then guess what? So he was striving.
Yeah.
So sometimes, man, change of a venue, an environment will do it for you. And all these guys have been different places. Maybe this is home for them. This is welcome home. You are here. You are home. You don't have to look over your shoulders. You come out here and you work. You are home. So,
well, it shows you what kind of environment to piggyback off that. Talking about Mahomes, but what you have with Mahomes versus a guy like Rodgers. Mahomes is the second year he's running this little Texas camp for receivers.
Yeah,
some of the guys who are there are guys like Justin Ross, who didn't even play last year, who's there running routes. And he was a guy who was just sat out all season. Smith-Marsette, who, we signed at the end of the year, who, these guys, and I guess a good way, Rodgers is one of those is essentially the way Rodgers and all the media is the way everyone's kind of talked about him with, not telling rookies the hand signals. You have to figure that out on your own. It's like an A-list actor not talking to the other actors on set, where Mahomes is the A-list actor and he's talking to everybody and everyone. And that's why he's so different compared to a Rodgers type, that's what it seems like to me. Right.
He's like a Denzel Washington taking the young people under their wing and talking to them, right, about what the business is all about and how you're supposed to do it. Yep. He ain't like some of these other, I guess, yahoos. Who's an actor that you've heard has been like that? Like, don't look at me. Like, you can't even speak to me. I know Christian Bale kind of got like one of those things, one of those raps and stuff.
Oh, Tom Cruise. He's apparently what I've read on a lot of these big pop culture guy, but apparently with Tom Cruise, you can't look at him in the eyes. He doesn't like people looking at him in the eyes.
Tom Cruise? When
you address him, you cannot. If you're the first time addressing him, you cannot look at him in his eyes. He pretty much has to give you permission to look at him and straight in the face.
Well, he's only 5'3", so I don't know.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm just messing. Hey, look, I'm playing, Tom. So, hey, no, seriously, like for real, like don't look at you in the eyes, like for real, like why would you? But I guess people are like weird like that. Whatever, if that's what gets him to be, the box office star that he is, and he feels like it gets him there. I think it's more so. It's about how you make other people feel, right? It's about getting the best out of other people around you. Yep. And so Patrick could do those things. We know Patrick could do those things. Travis Kelce could do those things. MVS and those guys that's going to be in the room, they're going to be able to do it. Get another veteran guy there. I'm going to keep going back to that. Get another veteran guy there that can, boost this whole position up. Yeah. Get a guy there. So
your last thing on the whole Texas stuff. Mahomes, there's a video of Mahomes throwing balls to all the receivers, but then your boy Jody Fortson was there rocking a Black Mamba Kobe Bryant jersey, catching balls on the field. Mahomes dropping in the bucket. Fortson looks good. I don't know if he's been in the weight room, but he looks jacked up, man. Yeah, Fortson looks like he's primed for a real big season. And hey, if we don't fill this room with another veteran, maybe he's getting more snaps out of the X position. Maybe going out.
Well, look, we know that guys is so varied offense. We know Jody can go out there wide and make anybody look silly. Yeah, he can go up and go get the football too. He can make plays. So, like I said, that I think if you're looking at it from that standpoint, full perspective, the whole scope of things, we know we can fall back on the tight ends. We already know we got the number one tight end in the league. Period. Okay, and catches and yards and exciting. And then you got Jody Fortson, who's right there with you. The old grade could come out there and do whatever and catch the same thing. It's where he's learned a lot from Travis. So we got capable guys in the room. We got guys. We got guys on that offense, right? We do. So I don't know. Maybe we could find a veteran guy. Who would that veteran guy be? I don't know who get to.
Well, that's a perfect segue, JD. So the last few weeks we've been talking about DeAndre Hopkins. We've led the show with the D-Hop.
DeAndre Hopkins. We've been talking about him?
Yeah.
I ain't noticed. I haven't noticed that. No. Go ahead. No.
And we've actually led the show with DeAndre Hopkins like the last 4 episodes. And today was the first time in about 3 weeks we didn't lead the show with DeAndre. Maybe that tells you what we think about the sweepstakes opportunities. But nonetheless, here's the latest on the D-Hop sweepstakes.
D-Hop is an elite guy.
You and I, we want to go with DeAndre Hopkins right away.
It makes sense to go get D-Hop.
We lost Juju. We lost Harvey. Those are veteran guys.
Yeah.
Bring him in. D-Hop. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock. They trade their 4th round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. Could you imagine the pandemonium going on in there?
D-Hop. That's who I would want. Shoot, I'm like, hey, D-Hop. Before you even name anybody else, D-Hop.
So this past week, the Baltimore Ravens signed OBJ to a 1-year deal worth up to $18 million with 14, I think 13.8 guaranteed. Yeah. So with all reports indicating that the Cardinals are going to release DeAndre Hopkins, with the Patriots not wanting to pay up as far as draft assets, and the Chiefs not wanting to pay the remainder of his deal. My question to you is, JD, and also with DeAndre Hopkins, I guess the Cardinals have the early workouts. Hopkins is not showing up to those early workouts with the new coach they have, so he's not going to those. And the Jets are a new team apparently that's interested, but I hear the Jets are interested in every receiver. Like I with this whole Rodgers thing, I feel like the Jets are thrown out there in everything now. It's like, oh, the Jets are interested. Jets are interested. They've already signed 2 receivers this offseason, and they have to make way for the Rodgers contract. But so my question is, with this OBJ getting this about 15 million or 18 million or a deal, how does this impact how things are going to go with this DeAndre Hopkins negotiations if he becomes available in free agency? And do you think this prices us out potentially of the D-Hop sweepstakes?
Ooh, boy, man, hit him over the head, OBJ. He got Joker. He did it. He hit him over the head. He got it. He was like, I'm sticking to my guns. Somebody gonna sign me. Somebody gonna do it, right? So good for him. Hey, good for him getting the money he was looking for, right? Yeah, man. That I know DeAndre saying, listen, that Joker will get 15 and almost 18 get with incentive wise and get, hey, I know I'm as good as that, if not better, right? I can see him having that conversation like, hold on, OBJ, oh man, he'll put us back in the game, right? He'll put us back in the game. And I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at it. I'm all about guys getting paid. I'm about guys getting paid. Okay. If you can get it, get it. Period. That's where I'm at. Okay. And the thing is, because how the market has been going, the guys that work free agencies and getting signings and whatnot, guys weren't getting big contracts. You know, the owners and everybody, have been talking, trying to set the market, getting everything kind of under order. That's what they was trying to do, get it all in order. Yeah, it makes it difficult. Makes it a little grim, as far as, D-Hop signing. It's not impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it always will fare on what does D-Hop want the most, okay? And will we be willing to pay that, right? Will he be willing to take less than OBJ is making? You know what I'm saying? In a new contract, if the Cardinals release him, and it seems like, because what you said, he's not coming to they voluntary workouts anyway, so I don't really make that as a big deal. Shoot, you know what I mean? You don't have to be there anyway.
New coach, though.
I don't care. I don't care who it is. D-Hop has been in the league for 10. Yeah, it's not going to be in the league for 10 years, about year 11. Hey, and if D-Hop has his own workout and things that he does, the new coach would know, like, listen, you know what? I get it, okay? If you have your routine, I don't want to interrupt that whatsoever. I know guys, I've been there and I heard different people talk. And when veteran guys, man, when you have a new regime come in, it gets a little testy. And so, you might have a guy come in like, yeah, we need all the guys here because we need to set a standard. And an example like, wait a minute, hold on. I've been doing all this before you even thought about getting hired. Okay? Why would you interrupt my routine for the things that you're trying to set? Like, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a coach trying to set a standard, doing things his way. Okay? But there is like this, there's a rule. There's understanding with coaches and veterans on how they do things. It really is. You have to have good rapport. And so with the younger guy who's trying to make a roster, who's trying to make some type of influence, hey, they need to be there. No doubt about it. There ain't no if, buts, or maybes. A guy that's established in the league, one of the best in the league, who is a hard worker. You never heard anything bad as far as like being, if he works hard or not. I don't think it's even an issue. I'm sure they've had a conversation, if anything, like, hey, look, D-Hop, we don't need you here, okay? Just letting you know on board, we got things out here. I'll talk to you. And I'm sure the head coach is probably talking to him directly. Other guys, he ain't picking the phone up for them guys. Just not. It's just how things work. But kind of going back to what we were talking about, yeah, it does put a little a bleak setting on the whole situation with D-Hop, maybe signing the Chiefs. We know we've been watching what them jokers have been signing, who they haven't been signing, and what they're not giving up. And boy, them jokers, I don't know if they trying to do 15, 18 million for anybody. Okay. Unless your name is Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones, right? Or maybe Travis Kelce. Other than that, hey, everybody else, they can get their walking papers. Okay. They trying to do something different. They've been successful so far doing it. But I don't know, man. I don't know where it puts everything. But here's the thing. Look, Marcus, let's be honest here. As much as this been going on this whole entire offseason, but we don't know what these guys are thinking. We have no idea what these jokers are going to do. Okay. They can pull a rabbit out of the hat so fast. Looking at guys that we never thought of they might be looking at before. Guys getting signed different places that we never thought was going to work. We just didn't see it. This off season is a conundrum. It really is. We just don't know. And as much as we think we know, and the things that we do hear, they have a whole different mind of what they're doing. Okay, they have a whole different staff and scouts and everything that they're doing. And even when they're putting these reports out, and you're hearing things from different guys, and this involved. And hey, Veach is the only one, him and Andy's, and they making the choices. And Hunt, believe me. So that's how that thing works.
Yeah. I think excited. I've seen some comments on our YouTube channel, people saying that Veach and the Chiefs are playing money ball like the Oakland A's in MLB, not really wanting to pay anybody, just kind of like looking for the hidden gems all over the place.
Yeah, they had a league. Well, how are we going to do it? So we're going to make this work. Okay, we see it. We see it happening. We see it happening right now. That is apropos. It really is. So, and they've been able to get away with it. It's been successful. They've been winning. So, that's the formula right now. But even with their formula, right, there might be just something thrown into that. Might be like, wait a minute, hold on, we didn't even see this thing coming. Hopefully, we talking this thing up. But and like I said, I'll go back to D-Hop. Would he take less to win a championship or win a ring? Okay, because that's what it'd be based off. It'd be based off his legacy, and what he wants to get to the game. Our guy Marcus Spears, he agrees with us. He wants D-Hop to go out to Kansas City because he sees it. He knows, like, man, D-Hop, he's such a great wide receiver, a great guy. We want a guy like that. You want a guy like that to get a ring. Okay, mm-hmm. You really do. And so, certain guys that you cheer for, D-Hop is one of them. I love for him to see him in a Chiefs jersey. I love him to see him in KC. Love to see him here. Will we be able to make it happen? That's the question.
Yeah, hopefully. And I will say, you mentioned, Mahomes' contract, Chris Jones' contract, Travis Kelce. I think we may have gotten a little spoiled because Travis Kelce is taking what he's taking, because he could ask for the King's ransom based on what his production. So I think we have gotten spoiled with some of these guys getting Mahomes doing a 10-year contract to spread it out. So he didn't take a lump sum like I think Burrow was asking for $50 million a year or something crazy. So yeah, I think we're a little bit spoiled in the Chiefs Kingdom. That's why we're hoping all these guys take these discount type deals. But
right,
what are you gonna do?
Man, it's part of the deal, man. It's part of the deal. So
I'm still holding out hope that they say that they might cut D-Hop and then they'll take anything at this point, any kind of draft pick. I'm still holding out hope that the Chiefs are hosting. Kansas City is hosting the draft. So I'm saying, I'm just thinking about, and we said it on one of our early podcasts, I think that what will excite a fan base, even people who are on the fence with D-Hop, everybody, fifth round, whenever everyone's kind of falling asleep in the fifth round drafts, all of a sudden Chiefs trade Arizona Cardinals and Chiefs. Cardinals run out on the clock for the fifth round pick. The Chiefs are trading the fifth round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. Then you have a rework deal with DeAndre Hopkins. I just feel like people would go nuts. And I think, to keep people alive and with it in the third day of the draft, it'd be amazing.
Man, look, they would go nuts. We know they would. There's no doubt about it. I think everybody would go nuts. If you wouldn't love to have a D-Hop on your team, then I have no idea what you're thinking about or who you are. I really don't. But it's just like now with all these different things that's been happening, guys we've been signing and, seem like the direction we're going, it seems starting to go further and further out of our reach.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it seems to keep going like that. God, like, oh man, OBJ signing really threw a monkey wrench in that sucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It did for the money aspect. So.
Yeah. But the one thing I did want to ask you about, because we actually texted right when that Richie James signing happened, and I asked, do you think this means we're done with the D-Hop, or are we out of D-Hop sweepstakes? I mean, there are two different types of receivers, and I forget about the money aspect, for example, and unless you were saying that you think we're out because the money aspect and signing another receiver like that kind of means we're out. But like, there are two totally different types of receivers. So it's like, because what do you think that means we are? That is an added reason to say, like, yeah, I think we might be out on this, is just signing him altogether?
And it's both, really, because what they went out and got, they got a guy that fit more into the offense, right? More what we've seen in the past few years of what they do. Okay, how many times we've been asking for the fade route, the jump ball. Okay, kind of like traditional things, bringing some big receivers here. They just hadn't really done it. Why? Because they like the guys that got the body type, or like Darius Toney, 6 foot, or under 6 foot. You got a whole bunch of those guys that are like little water bugs. Heck, every single player I watched on James was like reverses. Things what we do, right? Throw to the flat. Get open. Find a window. Same thing with, we know John Ross does that. It's slot guys. That's what they are. James plays bigger. Plays like one of my boys, man. Shout out to my boy, man, Bobby Washington, B-Watch. Man, that's my dog. He's my roommate in college, and he reminds me a lot of him. He's a guy that was a 5'10" receiver, can make guys miss, but he played bigger than what he was. He just played bigger. Now I see that in James, man. He's like I said, he's learning to play a lot bigger than what he is. So when you see him and he gets up and he does a little might like that, and I'm like, look at this, trying to show this muscle. There you go. Show all of it. Sure, go ahead. Be proud of it. But D-Hop, yeah, is definitely a different receiver. But it is because they've been getting more of those that prototypical Kansas City guys, smaller guys here in this offense, to maybe the prototypical guy who is 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", and can go up and do all these different things, right? And then the money aspect. It's the money. I think it's the money. That OBJ is like, geez, okay. That really, because then all of a sudden you got to swallow some pride, okay, with that. It's like, okay, you know what? I probably could have signed for somewhere around 12 to 14 to win a championship ring, but OBJ going over here and getting that much money? That might be a little tough. I don't know, man. But hey, anything is possible, right? That's what, that's what you did. I love that. That was from what's name, right?
One of our post-game shows.
Okay, yeah. So, hey, man.
Yeah, I mean, and the timing of it all is really weird, too. We signed Richie James, and I think the next day is when the OBJ signing happened. So it's obviously Veach and them got wind of what he was gonna sign for in Baltimore. So they're like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and cut our losses. Just go get Richie James right now for a 1 year. I haven't seen the numbers on it. I know it's a 1 year deal, but maybe I'm assuming it's the 1 year, $3 million special.
for Richie James?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The beach special.
Look, man. Hey, look, the Joker only has it was 57 receptions. It was his best season. He had 23 before that, 6 and then 9. So that, I mean, I don't know how much he's going to ask for, right? He probably did that Joker a favor. And so
it was 1 year, $1 million.
Yeah. So
wait, no, never mind. That was what he signed for last year with
Giants.
The Giants. Yeah, the details aren't out yet with the details aren't out yet with what we offered him.
Yeah, so
1 year deal. That's all I know.
it's 1 year deal. So yeah, man, it's one of those prove what you can do.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, yeah, we had a great year last year. But we need to prove a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And he also provides a little bit in the special teams room. And you're right. One thing we did talk about last year was, having the jump ball guy, having the Josh Gordon. We were on that. Josh Gordon, look what he's doing in the XFL right now. Tied for third in receiving touchdowns in the XFL right now.
last year's, well, it's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. But we weren't looking for that for the Chiefs.
I guess not. No, he has in 8 games played. Josh Gordon's got 27 catches for 379 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he's excelling in the XFL. Good for him.
Yeah.
But I guess we've moved on.
That's our guy, man. I'm always a Flash fan. Put it that way, because I want the guy to do well, right? Still rooting for him. So yeah, man. Hats off to Josh Gordon, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Name we hadn't said in a while, man, but that's still our guy, right? Yeah.
Still our guy.
All the best for him. All the best for Josh.
Yeah, the Seattle Dragons having a solid season. That's the team he plays for.
Okay.
Have you watched any XFL yet this year or no?
I have not watched.
I've only seen a little bit of it. The DC team, I make a joke. It's the only DC team I root for. So the DC Defenders.
Really?
They were undefeated for a little bit. I don't know anymore. I haven't really been following, but
I got a couple of boys, man, that's actually coaching. I think they might be with the DC Defenders. I think.
No way, really?
Yeah. Who's the head coach there?
Ooh, I don't know who DC Defenders head coach is. DC Defenders.
Is it Reggie?
It is, Reggie Barlow.
Reggie Barlow. Yeah, Reg is up here, man. No, Reggie. Then you got Vernon Dean.
Wait, Coach Dean's a coach?
Yeah, he's out there. Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my guy. Yes, he is. He is.
You got. The season's almost over, so you got to come up for a game. We can go get some backstage.
Let's do that. Jamie Shopper's up there too. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Coach Dean was up with all that staff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's DB's coach, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
Man. Look, I'm going to come up here to DC. Come check it out. That is. We'll make it happen, Marcus. We'll make that happen. All right.
Yeah, there's only 2 games left in their season, so they have Sunday and then next Sunday is their last game, and then I think because the last season got canceled during COVID, so I don't even know how they did playoffs for that, but yeah, it's doing well as far as ratings wise. So I mean, I think I as far as I read, it's going to be back next year, just like the USFL is. So that's good. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's a fun league for people who can't get enough football. It's great to have that, all year long.
So this Sunday and next Sunday?
Yeah, and then it goes to playoffs. I think they're away. They're there this Sunday, and then they're away to end the season on the 22nd. And I don't know how the playoffs go after that.
Who do they play away?
San Antonio. The San Antonio Brahmas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Brahma Bull. Yeah, the Rock.
I got you.
I didn't think about that.
So what other Chiefs things we got going on?
So the other one, we had a popular a video that made the rounds on Twitter this week. Was our newly signed left tackle Jawaan Taylor doing his thing. And it's a video that everyone's talking about how athletic he looks compared to our last left tackle, the one who played tennis to get ready for the season. There's a lot of people who are talking about that, and I actually wanted to get you to watch the video and to comment on what you see from Jawaan Taylor and what you love about what you see. And obviously, like it's like highlight videos. I mean, what workout video are you gonna watch that isn't badass that you're not gonna be like, man, this guy's awesome. So right. Wanted to get you to comment on it. So we're gonna play the clip right now of what our guy Jawaan Taylor's been up to this offseason.
Oh, fine. Okay. Good feet, quick, good punch. Good leg drive. Oh, okay. Right tackle set. I like it. Get some good work in. Holmes is in good hands. 100.
What do you think?
Looks impressive. Looks athletic. Look like a man's working, man. Where he's working hard. So that's always good. It's always good to see somebody in the lab doing work. And he look like he's getting it in. But his feet looks really good. His great feet, looks athletic, getting over the bags and whatnot. I see some of the footwork, some of the drills. Hand hits. We didn't really see a whole lot of that. But, just kind of placement, getting hands up, some of the sets. We know these things are different, obviously, when you have somebody in front of you. But it's good. It's good that he's getting it down. He's getting these things sharpened up. He's making sure, man, he's going to be ready. He's going to be ready. No, that looks good. It looks good. I'm happy he's here. Absolutely happy he's here. So I seen a right tackle set, left tackle set. So right, left, could be. He could be. Look, we know he's been right tackle. We know he's been successful right tackle. So that's his natural position. Could he transition over to the left? Sure. I'm sure they're looking at his athletic ability to transition over to the left. We know that. The question is, who are the Chiefs going to get in the draft in the first round? That's the question. Are they going to draft a tackle, left tackle, or are they going to go a different direction? That's the question. And we know they've had Anton Harris there, Darrell Wright there at the facility. Both of them, Anton Harris, traditional left tackle, Darnell Wright, right tackle, who has played left tackle, has left tackle background, is very athletic, like Jawaan Taylor, can play both sides. He's played some guard also, even. He's very athletic. And so I don't have any question about any of those guys, Anton or Darnell Wright coming and playing, or Jawaan Taylor playing left. I think we'll be in great hands. We'll be in great hands. Like he said, Patrick Mahomes is in great hands, 100%. I agree with it. I believe it. The sucker says he's in great hands. I believe him. So we paid him to. So that's what it's all about, man. He does his job, but I look like he's going to do it. So I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's what it's going to be. So I really do believe and still think that we're going to draft a left tackle in the first round. I think that's where we're going with it. So
you think based on what you saw in the video, you saw him in a right stance and in a left tackle stance.
Yeah.
So you think so, and you still think we're going to draft a tackle with our top pick, probably with our first. You think probably the best one available?
I think so. I think without a doubt, I think we'll get the left tackle in our draft. If I'm not right, I don't know if I heard this or read this, but Grundy, I think somebody told Grundy that he wasn't going to play left tackle, that he was going to play right.
That Jawaan Taylor's going to play right
tackle. So I think somebody told Tim Grunhard. I don't know if I read this or something. I don't know. Maybe I was drinking. Maybe I read this somewhere, but I had to call Grundy and find out. But I think somebody gave him a report, said, "Nah, man, he's going to be a right tackle in the for the Chiefs." So if that's going to be the case, then obviously we're looking for the first rounder to be left tackle. But if we need to swing him over to the left, I'm sure he'll go out there and go do it. I don't think it'd be an issue. Like I said, I think we got right tackles. We got guys in the building that can play, right? Darian Kennard is another one. They always a guard and stuff. Yeah, Darian Kennard play guard. He can also play tackle. He can also play right tackle if he needed to. So that's we got that ability. Guys got that ability. But yeah, man, I don't know where I read this. So, but I think that's correct. Somebody said that he was going to play right tackle. So,
I mean, if that is true, then it's obvious that we're gonna go ahead and draft a left tackle, and then we're gonna have Jawaan Taylor, if need be, if the guy's not ready to play left tackle, and we have enough right tackles on the team right now, so we can fill in that right tackle spot this year.
Right, the two guys we got in that came in the building on a visit are one of the top 5 left tackles in the draft.
Yeah,
so that's what they're thinking. The Chiefs are thinking that we're going to have a high draft pick being left tackle. So,
yeah. I mean, if you look at our top 30 visits, and this one guy that we were planning on having a visit with us is Jalen Duncan from Maryland, left tackle college. But the big story here is it would be the 5th tackle prospect to come visit us, and throughout this whole process. So it just shows you what you've been saying all along is that seems to be the move here and a high priority for us.
Yeah. So he's the 5th left tackle that's visited?
It's the 5th tackle prospect to visit us, yeah.
Oh, shoot, yeah. So and Jalen Duncan, he don't strike me as a first rounder. So I'm sure they probably think, do we get maybe a different guy, maybe defensive guy, whatever, and maybe get Jalen in the 2nd round or maybe the 3rd, however they push him out, right? I don't know. But all these things, all these scenarios are doable. All these scenarios are, definitely a possibility. So,
and the beauty about Jawaan Taylor, one of the reasons why a lot of people said this is a great signing for the Chiefs, because we're a team that loves versatility at the O-line, the guy who can play all the positions. And if that is the case, he's going to play left tackle or right tackle. It's great. And then we draft a guy like Darnell Wright, which is why I'm like, okay, this makes the most sense. It's a guy who's, like you said, played left and played right and played guard. A guy that really fits the mold that we have in Kansas City, a guy who can plug in and out of different positions on the O-line. And that's why that makes the most sense. So yeah, I mean, it would be par for the course is what we like to do on that O-line, based on the Jawaan Taylor signing. And then get Darnell Wright, and Darnell Wright is flying up the draft boards, which not draft boards as far as mock draft boards, but no one knows what's actually going on behind the scenes.
Yeah,
with the NFL teams.
I think he's a very talented guy. He's a very athletic guy, as he should be. Flying up. But man, look, it's going to be exciting out there for the draft in Kansas City. I can't wait, man. This sucker is just right around the corner, and I'm going to be there when they announce it and talk, and I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to be elated with whoever we get. Yeah, I'm just excited it's going to be out in Kansas City, man. Hey, God.
Big deal.
Yeah. Jeez. Huge. So that's good, man. It's good stuff.
So speaking of the draft, so this is something that, whenever we do, if we do trade up to get that guy or the person falls to 31, people are saying right now, I was reading an article, Peter King, who says that no one has any idea who's drafting what. And obviously every year you look at a million mock drafts, the Mel Kipers, the Mayock draft, the Todd McShay drafts. No one really knows. They never really go. That's a beauty about being a draft expert, I guess, because you can make a mock draft for all year long and then it go nowhere near. It looks nothing like that, but yet you have the job to continue to do the mock draft thing every year. It's probably one of the best jobs to have is being a mock draft, the analyst guy for ESPN or one of these networks. You just predict a 32 team draft or a first round, and it could go nothing like that. But yet you have your job again next year, and you continue to predict and project. But so Peter King said that essentially no one knows anything. It's probably going to be the most shocking draft ever. He spoke to an agent, and one agent told Peter King, quote, "The mocks this year are going to be laughable. So many guys repeating the same thing, trusting guys who might not know anything," which is funny because we don't know how much these guys know anything at all. But JD, as a player, I wanted to ask you this question.
Yeah, yeah.
You were a guy who was drafted in the second round. You were a player that was mocked anywhere from like mid first or in the teens to end of first and then into second.
Oh yeah.
What do you rely on as a player, like when in gearing up for the draft? What were you relying on as far as like, I'm going to be going around here? Obviously, you had your visits, and every team says pretty much kind of the same thing, I guess. Like, oh, if we can get our hands on you, we're going to get you. Just team speak. But like, what were you relying on as far as like to know when I'm going to go? I mean, kind of talk us about that process of trying to figure out where you're going to go.
You know what it is? It's teams' needs. Okay. And everybody, obviously your agent is helping you kind of navigate the entire process as far as like, okay, this team is high on you. This team is high on you. They need a tight end or they need whatever position in this draft. And they're looking to go, maybe first, second, whatever they're looking at. Right. And so a lot of projection goes into team needs. Right. And so what's the priority for teams? That's what we look at. And I think, mocks obviously go off of that, which they should, because it makes sense. But Peter King saying, well, nobody really knows in the mock wise. Look, quarterback wise, we kind of know where everybody's going to go. We have a good inkling as far as like where people may land. All the other positions is kind of like one of those things, the 1 and 2s can be, you can switch them, position wise, and so, yeah, the first tackle, I think, without a doubt, is going to be my man from, Ohio State. But the dude from Northwestern, these people like him too. So what is Zworski? I don't know. I can't pronounce his name right now, right off the top of my head. But who had Northwestern? Oh, he plays Northwestern.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you really, man, it's just, you got to rely on the agent and what you're being told. You're talking to the teams, and the teams are kind of, when they bring you in, they're letting you know how you're going to fit. They're letting you know exactly what they want from you. So it's not really it's not a question. I don't know if it's really blowing smoke up your tail. Why would they do that? Right? So every team's trying to build rapport, but every team is trying to sift you out as far as like, okay, is this the guy? Can he come in here and actually be the dude that we're expecting him to be? And so when you see these visits come with these guys, man, it's because they really plug these guys in as being those guys, as being a starter or backup, or we're not going to waste a draft pick on a guy that we're not serious about, or a visit. So when they bring guys in a visit, that's what it is. So as a player, man, it's what you just got to rely on. What you hear from your agent, what you hear from teams, what teams need, and then you just let the process take care of itself. Right? That's the thing about it. You can't really worry because I knew of teams, how many teams needed tight ends, and then all of a sudden, maybe their priority wasn't tight end, it was something else. And so that's what I seen when I went through the process. It's like it every single year. It's like it every single year, unless something is like a glaring need, right? Like, oh my gosh, like we need a quarterback. There's like some teams like I don't care what you have around you, you need a quarterback to play. Houston Texans need a quarterback. They need one, right? The Colts need a quarterback. We know this. And so things like that, I think, are just kind of like a no miss kind of deals. Who guys decide that is a priority, it's all going to be on the GMs. It's going to be on the teams, man. They're going to do their homework. They are. I don't know how laughable, the mocks will be. Guys getting paid. I can come do a mock. Heck, our mocks for the last couple of years have looked pretty good. We've been pretty spot on, right?
Yeah.
Heck, we talked about who we were going to get. We got George, right? We said something about Sky. Talked about Kennard. We talked about Cook, right?
Yeah.
We was naming guys, that was going to get drafted. And we was right on it. We were spot on. We were talking about those guys. Shoot.
We actually have our mock draft episode in 2 weeks, the Wednesday before the draft, the day before. So I mean, that's good. That I can't wait to see how spot on you are.
Hey man, Hey, like that.
I know. I did. Even the one you didn't get, I remember you had in one of the ones you talked about Elam being your first round pick. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
right position. You were on it. We
Yeah.
ended up trading him for McDuffie, but hey, we were on it. And who do we trade up in front of? We traded up in front of Buffalo, who ended up drafting Elam. So you were right there.
Right. I was right there. So yeah, man. And guys, look, and guys know you watch. Like I said, it's all about watching teams and seeing what what the need is, how guys will be able to fit into certain schemes. Shoot, you could be the most talented receiver, but he might not be what we need. Like I said, he could be a guy who's 5'9", 5'10". They need a guy who's 6'4".
Yeah.
We love you, but we need this guy, right? So they talked about the TCU receiver. They talked about what's my man Bijan. They talked about him. Teams would love to have him, but what teams need running backs? Who's going to jump on him? Right?
Yeah.
What it boils down to.
Some teams need D linemen and interior O linemen or tackles. And I think that's where we fall in the trenches. Really.
Right. So I think for us, I think that's where we're going. The trenches is where we're looking at this year, and if we're not, we should be.
Yeah,
okay? We should be on both sides of the ball. At least tackle, get that out of the way. Obviously, maybe pick another guy up later on down the road. But D line, defensive end, need to start hitting them up. We talked about that last year, wasn't we?
Yeah.
So
I remember you were big into the dude from Bowling Green who the Bears ended up drafting like late. It was a guy that we were like, man, he's a 4th round pick. I think he went like the 5th or 6th. It was Dominique Robinson from
yeah. Sucker was throwing flashes up there in with the Bears too, man. He was a problem for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, they traded what's his name because they wanted to give him some more playing time. What's his name? The dude the Eagles ended up getting the veteran edge Robert Quinn.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell you, Robinson that sucker would have been nice. He'd been perfect in this defense. That would have been a field spot for like what's the name? Frank Clark.
Yeah.
Dunlap, you probably wouldn't need those guys. You know what I mean? Seriously. So, well.
Yeah.
What I know, only play, only did in the NFL. Sure, I don't know what defense ends and all look like.
I was gonna say it was like you, based on the mock drafts, what you did last year and the years prior is like it tells you how players, and that's the thing. There's certain some of the guys out here, they know the analytics aspect, the numbers side of things, but there's something in the feel, and I with my other podcast with Eric Snow, there's something. And when we do game predictions, he like says stuff like, "Oh, road trip to a back-to-back." Like there's certain times where he'll pick a game, and I'm like, "Really? You're gonna go with them?" And he'll like give us his reasoning for it, and it happens. I'm like, man, I was like, okay, like I didn't think I thought the Spurs were gonna beat us, but your reasoning behind it, the Spurs ended up being the Sixers, and Spurs are a trash team this year. But like he has good reasoning behind it, and it's like, okay, a player who knows what he's talking about. And then when you do your mock drafts and all the other things you talk about on the show, it's like, well, I think this is why we're starting to see, in the new media age, we're starting to see players, doing podcasts and doing different types of media elements where it's like, well, yeah, it's because these guys know what they're talking about when it comes to the sport, obviously.
I mean, we haven't seen it. We didn't see plays. We see how guys move. We see, what their, what type of moves they have, their movement, bends, all those different things. The aptitudes, we play so much against it that we could recognize these things. We could recognize weaknesses in particular players, their games as well. Yep. So, the thing is, when we analyze things maybe a little bit different than other people because we have played a game, right? And so when I'm sitting there watching and somebody might be like, oh, man, this guy looks fast. It's like, okay, who did he play against? What does his feet look like? Was the guy that he was going against, is he a really good guy? What is his talent? So you had to, all these things you had to go into and measure, in your mind and quantify, like, is this okay? Is this guy a legit dude? Is he legit? So I know defensive ends because I done gone against the best ever. So I know when a guy's like, this dude right here, he's an animal. He's a problem. I can tell that.
What also too with looking at how people look at things differently, you have the numbers people who are strictly they look at numbers, especially advanced statistics, the advanced analytics, which we're seeing so much now, which is a kind I roll my eyes at. But players have a thing where it's passing the eye test, right? And that's why numbers can never quantify everything. The numbers can't really quantify what the eye test looks like, a guy dominating on the field. But yeah, if you look at these numbers, I mean, this guy he's not really it. He ranks in the fourth, fifth tier type at the position. It's like, I don't know. I'm watching the game tape right here. It says otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's validity in numbers. I'm not want to take away from that, but you're right. It doesn't quantify everything. It doesn't tell the whole entire story. I always say that. When you're talking about statistics, it only tells part of a story. Okay, it doesn't tell everything. You can't measure heart, you can't measure attitude or passion. You can't measure drive in guys. You just can't do it. Based off of reps and all those different things. Yeah, when we can know a certain amount of reps, this guy was very successful in this. Okay, cool. Was he having a bad week? Did something happen at home? I'm like, what was going on? Was he injured? Like you had to putting all of that into, the list, putting it all into the equation. It's tough, man. It's tough to do. So when we talk, I mean, like you said, eye test, right? Like I was like, man, we know that Patrick retreats back further than everybody else. Okay, it may be another 1 or 2 yards, but it's a difference in the game. That's big. It's big when you blocking whole guys up. You know what I mean? Defensive ends see it, defenders see it. So now their junction and their points move. Okay, they adjust. So yeah, it's just numbers, and I like numbers, but yeah, it doesn't tell the entire story. So.
It's funny you mentioned like the part of he may be playing injured and stuff, and that's one thing that I was reading an article the other day about how like you're starting to see a trend, and whereas back in the old days with people focusing so much on the advanced analytics of things. And how teams, have incorporating that so much. People who never actually played ball, but they're numbers people. Yeah. But you're starting to see a trend now where teams are looking at this so much when it comes to contract stuff in the off season stuff. But that players who may have back in the day would play through injury because they wanted to try to will their team back. Just being their presence. They may play like crap, whether it's in basketball or NFL. They play like crap. That's because they're obviously going through injury and they're playing regardless of they're playing through the pain, but their numbers are suffering from it. Who does that help and who does that hurt? In the off season, when when players are trying to negotiate with teams, their numbers took a hit and teams are using that against them in the statistics. But look, I played through the season last year hurt, but they don't care. They're using your numbers against you. That's why you're starting to see a trend where people aren't actually playing through those injuries anymore.
100%. 100%. And it all boils down to that negotiation, right? So yeah, there's two thought processes here. Well, yeah, okay, the numbers, what does it show? But also two, hey, this guy was loyal enough to come out here and play. Like he absolutely laid it all on the line to try to help the team out. We know he was hurt. We know what he was given. Sure, we seen him all during week when he was going through the pain and whatnot. But now also we didn't want to reward him because of his loyalty and putting himself out there. Yeah, if he decided not to do it, then you wouldn't play him because he didn't commit to, trying to go out there and at least be an influence on the team. Hint, Lamar Jackson, perfect example. Perfect example. They're trying to use his injuries and stuff like that against Lamar Jackson, okay? When the simple fact that we knew, okay, he didn't have a contract. He ended up going out there and getting hurt, getting a ding, and they wasn't going to guarantee anything else for him, okay? What makes you think he's not going to put his own best interest in heart when y'all weren't even taking care of the man? You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's selfish. He went out there. What are you talking about? You want this guy to go out here and get hurt? He's betting all this on the line on himself. This is what he's doing. You want him to give everything, but they're not going to give him anything in return. Man, forget all that. Shoot, people get mad all they want to about Lamar Jackson. Man, look, I commend the guy for doing what he's doing. I do. I hope he gets paid because he should. Okay, with all these other guys, Daniel Jones just got paid. Shit, Lamar Jackson needs to get his money. Okay,
And
Real.
with the Ravens doling out $18 million for a guy who's played like on a few games in the last 2 seasons, why not give Lamar Jackson what he wants?
Like, yeah, for real. Like that, but that's like when people talk like that, it just missed me with that. Like, you don't have the talent, or his playing style. He's going to be more prone to injury. His playing style is winning games.
Yeah, that's
what's doing it. And so he's still going to be an effective. He's still going to be better than even if he gets hurt. He's still going to be better than 75% of the NFL. He's still going to be effective. So
yeah. Well, that's the whole like playing through injuries, right? So let's say you play for the team, right? And then the coaches tell you, hey, man, like your 75% is better than the next guy's 100%. We want you to continue to play, even if your number's going to take a hit. But when the offseason comes, hey, you took a big decline this year. Your numbers didn't look that good. But you knew I was playing through injury. So automatically you got bad blood within the organization. Then you go to a bigger, grander scheme, going to the market.
Yeah.
They don't know what you went through during the season. Yeah, you were hurt, but everyone's hurt during the NFL season. But like we're gonna pay you based on what you showed last year, and your numbers didn't look. So it's like that's why players just don't want to play through the injuries anymore, because like, dude, what's it? That's not costing me. It's costing me money, but is what it's doing.
Do we not think that McCole Hardman is not in Kansas City because of some of that had something to do with it?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure. Right. It's the NFL. That's the business. So he gets injured, comes back out, re-injures himself. Pat on the back. Yeah, man, great, McCole. But, teams don't know what he went through. They only see that he didn't play. Okay. We know he has ability about him. And he goes up there and, I don't know if the Chiefs gave him an offer or not. We don't know all these things, right?
Yeah.
But it just seemed like there was something there missed. Okay. But hey, man, look, it's negotiating. That's what it's all about. And teams will do that. They will use it as a bargaining chip based off your play and availability. Best ability is availability.
Yep.
Right? And rightly so. Look, I'm not going to take away from it. Sure, we were just talking about before, like obviously NBA is a different animal altogether. But, if guys are hurt, they trying to go out there and play. Like, man, do I put myself out here? Because I know, teams need me. Okay. I'm trying to still go out because I'm going out there I'm not selfish. I'm going out there for my teammates. Still want to win. I still want to play. So I'm going to go put it all out on the line.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, it's the NFL, man.
Well, that's why every player has to take into account their own situation first. I mean, first and foremost, like, yeah, you're a business. Like, each individual player is their own business,
no doubt, right?
Just like the Chiefs are a business. Whoever the player is a business, and you got to make sure, like, yeah, like what Hardman did was very selfless, coming in and trying to play in that AFC Championship game. He came in, got hurt. And what happened in the offseason? They look. He went from, I think, projected 10 to 11 million a year, and it got made. It's about 6 with New York. So it's like it hurts. It can hurt your pocket. So that everyone needs to kind of focus on themselves before the bigger picture, because everyone else there is a business. Even last night, I was watching an NBA game. Anthony Edwards for the Timberwolves played through injury last night. And then today he's getting killed on all the hot take shows. He went 3 for 19 last night, but he played through injury. But who's getting killed in the media? Anthony Edwards, because he had an awful game, but he played through injury. So
he was 3 for 19.
Yeah, pretty rough.
No wonder they lost their game.
They should have won that game. That was a major choke job.
Really? So I other people were talking about it. E was talking about it. He said that Lakers should have lost their game.
Should have.
No, that's good. You get into some heavy stuff, man. We get into some heavy things about how these things are. This how the business works. The NFL.
Yeah. And now teams are using advanced analytics to use it against players now, and so there you go. Analytics is here.
Ain't nothing changed, man. Ain't nothing changed. So it's all about what have you done for me lately? Okay. And what can I get your services for?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's pretty much how every business is. Just the NFL and these major sport leagues are. It's in your face more often when it comes to that kind of stuff.
oh yeah, of course.
But all right, well, that does it for us, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another wonderful episode of Chief Concerns. Like we said, 2 weeks time, the day before the draft, we're gonna have the mock draft, and JD's gonna give you what he thinks the Kansas City Chiefs and Brett Veach will be thinking on in 2 weeks on the 27th of April when the draft is live in Kansas City, where our guy JD will be there in person to celebrate our opening day, our first round pick. And you're gonna be there for all 3 days, JD?
Yeah. I'll be in Kansas City for those 3 days for sure. Yeah. Around there at the event, maybe not.
Okay. But you'll be there. You'll be there to ring in. You'll be there in the spirit, ringing in the
of course
the new players.
I'm be around all the other situations and events and everything going on. Catch up with some guys. It's gonna be an exciting time. So I'm looking forward to it. Call Veach up and see what he's thinking. We're gonna have a conversation and talk. We're gonna get it all. Look, we're gonna get it all pushed out for you guys. Okay. All right.
Call him on Tuesday or Wednesday, right before we do the mock draft, right before you go on air for the mock draft, so you can get a nice little intel.
Yeah. Hey, Brett. Hey, Beach. What's going on? JD. Just seeing what we're thinking. Are we still on board with this? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Chiefs Concern. Hey, keep tuning in. All right. Love you guys.
Love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.